Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Heaven, a necromantic dating sim. Let's go ahead and continue. You find yourself sitting in one of the food halls, looking down at a meal of potatoes and meat. Dozens of voices are chattering around you, but you can't make out any of the words. How did I get here? You close your eyes and feel your mind drifting somewhere else. Your whole body jerks as Lee shakes your shoulder. You look around, wide-eyed.
You awake, Uzo?
You're in a building with vaulted ceilings, surrounded by life-size statues standing on stone plinths. Some of the statues are only wireframes, but most of them are half covered in muscle and skin. You're standing in an aisle between statues with Lee's. She's got a sketchbook and pencil in her arms.
Here, take a drink.
Lee's hands you a bottle of wine, and you look down at it. You don't remember how you got here, or what you're doing. Lee's goes back to sketching and you watch her. You're still holding the bottle of wine in your hand, a little uncertain. You wander around the statue closest to you. A woman with a fully fleshed out torso, head, and arms. Her lower body still bare, black wire. You peer into her chest cavity and see that someone has already installed a heart, lungs, and kidneys. The organs are yellow and gray colored, the mark of being soaked in preservatives. As you look around, the memory of this place slowly returns to you. This is the Garden of Flesh, one of Itzon Academy's prides and joys. Physiomancers from all over the world come here. It's part museum, part anatomical workshop. Advanced students come here to build bodies from the ground up and demonstrate their skills. It's also the place where the school exhibits the most advanced and beautiful of its artificial vessels. You walk up to a statue sculpted out of sleek hardwood and steel. Its smooth, mask-like face looks out over the room with empty eyes.
See something you like?
You turn around and find Lee standing behind you. Just looking at some of the models. The artificial ones are beautiful. Some of the flesh ones are kind of grotesque.
Yeah, some people really don't know how to sculpt faces. There's some real ugly ones. Wanna see my favorite one? She's very pretty.
Sure. You follow Lee's across the darkened room to finish statue of a woman in a dancing pose. Her legs are crossed and perfectly straight, and her arms are raised above her head, reaching toward the ceiling with her fingertips. Her chin is tucked into her chest, and she's standing on her toes. Her eyes are closed, and her face is smooth and peaceful. You walk in a circle around her, looking at her from all angles. You can see the muscles tensing under her skin and the subtle outline of her ribcage. It's flawless.
Almost. See her jaw? She has a slight overbite. About 2 centimeters.
I can't even tell.
When you spend enough time looking at this stuff, you get an eye for it.
Lise walks to the side of the statue and tilts her head to look under its arm.
Other than that, though, she's as close to perfect as you can get.
He points at her head, which is completely bare. You're guessing the creators are still working on her hair. I would have thought your favorite would have red hair, like you.
I hate my hair.
What, really? It's your most defining feature, other than the freckles.
I hate the freckles too. They make me look like I have a disease. And my hair is too messy. It's a nightmare. When I start sculpting my own body, I want to look like her.
You're really going to go through with making a new body, huh?
Of course I am. That's why I'm here. To live forever as a work of art.
She delivers that last part with a stilted, theatrical voice. She turns to you and flashes a smile.
That's probably going to take a few decades. In the meantime, I guess this pale, freckled body will have to do.
Are you going to make one out of wood or metal?
Ah, those are so ugly. I want to be made out of porcelain or something like that.
Lise walks back around to the front of the statue, where you're standing. She crosses her arms and looks up at it, tilting her head.
But maybe flesh over a wire frame would be a bit more fun. It's messier, but I get to retain my nerves. Either way, I want a more pillowy ass.
You snore and look over at Lise. You're still inspecting the statue like an oil painting. She looks over at you.
Huh, a girl can dream.
You shake your head and laugh, then take a small sip from the bottle of wine. It's not very good, but at least you don't have to say anything. Lise starts walking down the row of statues, and you follow her.
Your mentor is Ryu Okazi, right?
Yeah, why?
I think... Here, she did this one.
Lise leads you to a tall statue of a man with outstretched arms. He's well muscled, but what you notice are the eyes. The man has 4 eyes arranged in 2 columns down his face, and a single line of eyes running down the center of his torso.
She did this when she was a student here. Her whole project was based on getting the body to regrow organs, and eyes are really hard to grow. She won some kind of award for this. It's pretty creepy, right?
It's interesting, it's disgusting.
I guess it's disgusting.
It's pretty disgusting. I mean, it's really... But that's not what you said back then. You didn't want to make Lise think you were squeamish about body modification. You turned around and found her frozen, still looking at the statue. You wave her hand in front of her face, but she doesn't respond. You look around, but the world is frozen in place. You can feel the heaviness in the air and hear a faint churning, screeching noise. A shiver runs down your body as the noise grows closer. You don't know what happens next. You don't remember it because it didn't happen this way. How did it go? You try to remember. Lise leads you to a tall statue of a man with outstretched arms. He's well muscled, but what you notice are the eyes. The man has 4 eyes arranged in 2 columns down his face. There's a single line of eyes running down the center of his torso.
She did this when she was a student here. Her whole project was based on getting the body to regrow organs, and eyes are really hard to grow. She won some kind of award for this. It's pretty creepy, right?
Kind of. Sort of interesting. I read somewhere that some physiomancers learn to live with no eyes at all. For a moment you remember something. A silver helmet studded with teeth and a name. You try to grasp the memory, but it fades back into your subconscious. Lise clicks her tongue.
I think I'll stick with stereoscopic vision. Thanks very much.
You read the plaque in front of Rue's statue, which is about 1 foot square. In her pursuit of the art of physical regeneration, student Ryu Okazi created this piece, titled Opening of the Senses. By manipulating the internal structures of the epidermis, Initiate Okazi was able to transform skin into working eyes. Her work has demonstrated that even the most delicate, sensitive, and complex anatomical structures can be created with a high degree of success.
You talk to her pretty regularly, right?
Who, Rue?
Yeah, what's she like?
She's shy and kind of nervous. She's brilliant when she's teaching. Her mind is on a whole other level.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
What do you mean by that?
I heard the faculty made her a teacher because they wanted to get her research, but she's kind of a wreck. There's a bunch of rumors about her breaking down in the middle of classes and just walking out. Now they just have her do tutoring work instead of teaching classes. Other people say she only has a job because some of the older guys in the faculty want a younger woman on staff. They think she's pretty. She seems kind of mousy to me though. Can't stand her type anyway.
Your grip on the wine bottle tightens. What type is that?
Naive, bookish types who get all scared in front of people. Just grow a spine. Everyone else has to.
And leaves the bottle of wine back. You've never met her. Lise takes a swig and wipes her mouth.
No, but a dozen people saying the same thing can't be wrong.
She's got a spine. I've worked with her for a couple months now. She's not a wreck.
Oh, I'm sure she's gotten better at hiding it. Anyway, there's a really ugly one over here. The sculptor's really messed up on it.
Lee starts walking, but you stay where you are.
What's the matter with you?
It's annoying when you gossip about people when you don't know them.
Okay, sorry I offended you.
Me being offended isn't the problem. You're tearing down Rue and don't even know her.
Yeah, that's how gossip works. If she doesn't like what people are saying about her, that's her problem.
You don't care what she's really like? It's all just fun.
I've seen her a few times. You can tell by the way she carries herself. She's a mousy bookworm with no self-esteem. And yeah, I don't have time for people like that. Especially when they're supposed to be teachers.
You shake your head and shrug. Alright, so whatever. I'll catch you later. You turn around and start walking toward the exit. You hear Lee's jog up behind you.
Hey, come on! It's just gossip. No one really cares.
You keep walking. I care.
Then you want to hear what people are saying about you and Izagi Ito?
You stop and turn around. Lise has her hands on her hips and a smug smile.
Well?
What are people saying?
Well, for starters, the naked running incident got people talking. They're curious about what exactly happened at that river. And recently, people have noticed that you and her have been getting pretty close. A lot of private training sessions at the class. And you seemed pretty broken up when she had her unfortunate little run-in with Ino recently.
So what?
So what? People are saying you and Ito are an item. Secretly, of course.
Bullshit.
Hey, I'm just the messenger, just saying what I heard. I don't have any stake in this.
I don't care what people say about me. People like to talk.
Oh, Zoe, we both know you care about what people say. You're the one who's obsessed with people getting the wrong idea about him.
You pause and run your tongue over your upper lip, trying to keep the anger from showing in your voice. What do you know about me? Forget the rumors. What do you really know about me?
I know you're bitter and self-righteous, even if you don't realize it. You don't want anyone to judge you, but you'll judge everyone else.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just an asshole. But at least that, I don't play games with people all the time for fun. When I have a problem with somebody, I say it to their face, instead of talking behind their back to all my little friends. And they're not even your friends. Lise gives you a condescending smile.
How, Uso? Go fuck yourself.
You too, Lise. You walk out of the Garden of Flesh and into the evening light. The sun is starting to set and the campus is mostly empty. You start walking, but you're not sure where you're headed. Anywhere that's away from Lise. As you walk, you catch the faint smell of smoke on the breeze. 2 days later, you find yourself outside Rue's office with an armful of notebooks. There's a note stuck to the door with a pin.
To Uso, sorry, but I must postpone our normal tutoring session today. We'll continue tomorrow.
You take down the note and fold it up, then slip it in your pocket. You stare at the door for a few seconds before turning around and walking back to your dormitory. You end up back at Rue's office door. There's a new note tacked to the outside.
Hi, Uso. Sorry to delay again. I'm feeling sick. Let's meet next week.
You reach into your jacket pocket and pull out a handful of crumpled notes. Each of them is written by Rue. All of them delay your next tutoring session to tomorrow, the next day, next Wednesday, or next Friday. It's been almost 2 weeks since you've seen Rue. You're starting to get a bad feeling about her. You open the office door with the little silver key Rue gave you and step inside. The office is dark, and it doesn't seem like Rue's been in here for a while. You catch the scent of something and breathe deep. Is that rotting meat? Where's it coming from? You knock on the door to Rue's private quarters and softly call out to her. Rue? It's me, Uzo.
Uzo? I thought I left a note on the door.
Her voice is hoarse but surprised. Yeah, you did, but I thought I'd come in to check on you. There's some rustling and tinkling behind the door, and Rue's voice rings out a bit more shrilly.
I'm very, very sick. I don't want you to catch it.
You suspect that she's lying. You pause at her door, pondering your next move. You decide to open the door. The room beyond is an absolute disaster. Plates are stacked 4 feet high, dirty clothes are piled in the corner, and the smell of rotting meat hangs in the air. The number of papers on the wall has doubled, creating a mosaic of equations and esoteric-looking diagrams. The walls are lined with books stacked on the floor, and 2 unfurled scrolls hang from the ceiling. You spot Rue sitting up from her mattress surrounded by books. She's wrapped in a stained white sheet, and she's missing her glasses.
Uzo, don't come in. It's a mess in here, and I'm not decent.
You cover your eyes with your right hand. Sorry, I wanted to talk to you about something. And I smelled rotting meat, and I just thought...
Just shut the door.
You close the door with your left hand, keeping the other hand firmly placed over your eyes. You sit down on a stack of books and hold her notebooks awkwardly. Between your fingers, you see Rue wrap herself in the sheet more tightly. Are you alright? Looks like you spent a whole week without leaving this room.
I got behind on my research. A couple of weeks behind, and I need to catch up.
You shift your gaze to the floor and take your hand away.
So mortifying. I didn't want you to come and see me until until I was done. Oh god, my head aches. Can you...
Suddenly, Rue's body hunches over and you see her convulse. She desperately reaches for a tin basin by her mattress. She reaches into the bucket once, then twice, before shuddering and swallowing hard.
I think the fever is getting worse. Can you bring me a glass of water?
Spot a pitcher and fill a cup with water, then bring it to Rue's mattress. She takes the glass, then sips it. After switching her match for a few seconds, she spits into the basin. How long have you had this fever? Seems pretty serious. Should you go see someone about it? Can't work yourself until you're sick. Rue looks down at her cup of water and tries to formulate a response.
I'm not sick exactly. I didn't catch this fever. It's my body doing what it does naturally.
What? What do you mean naturally?
When the body encounters a foreign substance, it often regards it as a threat. That's why limb transplants are rejected. I've been doing some research involving flesh regeneration. Unfortunately, it's kind of difficult work. I found that it's easiest to use my own flesh and my own body to act as a miniature laboratory.
What did you do?
Nothing extreme. I didn't do anything stupid or risky. I just wanted to see how quickly I could grow something.
What was it?
Rue inches herself away from you and sets down her cup. She looks you in the eyes but quickly drops her gaze to her knees. It's disgusting. It's frightening even. I don't want you to see it. No one should see it.
Tell me. I won't be disgusted with you. But now I'm deep in deer organs. I don't think there is anything that will faze me.
Well, one of my specialties is eyes, because they're very hard to...
I know. I saw your statue in the Garden of Flesh.
You did? Oh, then you know about...
Rue trails off.
It took me months to grow those eyes. I've been working on a faster way to do it, and I decided to use something else's flesh as a sample.
Rue slowly unwraps her right hand, which had been wrapped in blood-stained gauze. You lean closer to look. Peering from the back of Rue's hand is a milky, striped eye, similar to a goat's, so about the size of a coin, and it blinks a few times in the dark.
It's from a creature called an octopus. They live underwater.
You shudder involuntarily as the eye moves slightly, as if it's trying to focus on you. I see. You stand up straight again and feel yourself grimace.
It's not permanent. I'm going to excise it once it's fully developed, so I won't have an eye hand forever.
Rue peeks up at you, trying to read her face. You shrug and shake your head. It's a little unnerving to see another eye looking at me.
I'll cover it up.
Rue hastily rewraps her hand, then holds up so you can see. Thanks. Rue lifts the cup of water to her lips and takes a long drink, gulping down the water as fast as she can swallow it.
That feels a bit better. Can you grab me that pouch on the pile of things over there?
You walk over to the table and pick up a small velvet pouch with a drawstring. You glance inside and freeze. Who is that? Is this Sumi? After seeing so many of them, you can recognize the flat little green tablets anywhere. Their home city in Senkaku was flooded with two drugs, Tazuma and Sumi. One was for sleeping, while the other was for staying awake. Sumi was the drug of choice for the all-night revelers and debauchees. The ones that wanted to drink and dance for 10 hours straight. You didn't expect it to see in Rue's room of all places. Rue draws herself up and scowls at you with determination.
There are a lot of misconceptions about Sumi. As an amphetamine and anti-inflammatory medicine, it has many legitimate uses. I'm not the type to dance the night away or any of that other stupidity. I use it when sleep would be inconvenient.
Aren't you afraid of getting addicted? The fevers and dehydration can get bad after just a few pinches. It stains your teeth.
I only use it sparingly. I'm very careful about my dosage, and I shouldn't have to explain myself. I'm your mentor. What I do in my private in my own time is my own business.
A worrying thought occurs to you as you look at a small, circular brass tin next to the bag Sumi. It has an image of blue moon painted on it.
What are you?
You twist out the top and find a little pile of yellow powder inside, along with a small silver spoon. There's still a tiny, clean scoop missing from the pile, which means the powder was disturbed recently.
Hey, that's...
Tezima. She's got both. Which means she induces sleep with one and is waking up with the other. How much water have you been drinking?
What?
Water. Have you been drinking a lot of water?
Yes, of course. I've been drinking about a liter of water every 12 hours to stave off the fever.
A liter? Oh, God. You rush through Rue's mattress and fall to your knees, then crawl behind her and wrap both arms around her waist.
What do you do?
You clasp your hands together beneath Rue's ribcage and start forcing your stomach inward over and over.
Don't do that, Earl.
Rue's head leans forward as she throws up into the basin. You keep bumping her chest hard, trying to get every drop of water out. Finally, after a full minute of forcing Rue's stomach, you unclasp her hands and prop herself up on the mattress. Rue's bare, sweaty back rises and falls against you as she gasps for air. Sumi and Tezima, with water, will overheat your body. The fever will kill you if you take them together. You vividly remember stories about the underground dances in Senkaku, where deaths weren't just common, they were expected. Sumi alone could make someone pass out. When they just come out of Tezima coma, the seizures could kick in within minutes. Every night, 4 or 5 people would collapse in the crowded dance halls, surrounded by the crushing heat of densely packed bodies. People started making a game of it, to make wagers on how many would overheat, then count them as they dropped like flies.
Oh God, my mouth tastes terrible.
Rue leans backward, resting herself against you as she clutches her head. We need something cold, a lot of cold stuff to cool you down.
I have a lot of ice in the tub.
You get up, taking care to hold up Rue's back as you get on your haunches. You slip her left arm over her neck, wrap one of your arms under her legs, and start lifting her up. She's worryingly light. It still takes all your strength to get her steady on her feet. As soon as she's standing, you feel the sheet slip from her and fall to the floor.
Oh, I need that.
You lower her so she can pick up the sheet and press it to herself. You walk her into the darkened bathroom, which is tiled walls and floors. A large silver tub is situated against the wall, half hidden in shadow. When you look inside the tub, you see about a foot of water full of triangular chunks of ice. You peer through the darkness and see a fully developed kidney resting in the ice.
It's just a kidney. Let me...
Rue slips off your shoulder and supports herself with one hand on the tub. She lifts the kidney out of the water and carefully places it in the sink, where an eye and a tongue are floating in more ice. Do you need help?
No, I can do it.
You watch Rue slowly wrap herself in the sheet and step into the icy tub. Her feet crunch into the ice, and she arduously lowers herself into the water.
Oh, it feels nice.
Your body's been overheating the entire time. You sit down on a stool next to the tub and let out a sigh. The stench of rotting meat has almost totally faded from your nose. You glance over at Rue. Her eyes are half shut, and her breathing is shallow. How long have you been using that stuff? Tesman, sue me, I mean.
For a few years. I'm trying to be careful about it. I only started taking the Tessima this year.
Why did you need both amphetamines and narcotics? That's some heavy stuff.
I thought if I could manipulate the body the right way, I could operate with only 3 hours of sleep.
How long were you doing that?
This past week.
You laugh incredulously, but you feel dread sweeping into your gut. Is this the first bad you had since then? Rue glances at you, embarrassed. She covers her face with both her hands.
I didn't think anyone would. I know I'm disgusting. It's awful that you had to see me vomit.
It's alright, I don't care. I guess I'm just surprised you'd be this extreme about, your work.
I'm always like this. Almost always. I never really never got into the habit of taking care of myself. I don't know how to take care of other things either, like my plant. I keep thinking I can operate like a clock and ignore the inconvenient parts of my body. I tried to break it down so it's not so overwhelming, but it's just frustrating. I just feel like I don't know how to live. It doesn't come naturally to me. I feel like I'm always teetering on the edge of spinning out of control. And I feel like everyone can tell I'm not good at this stuff. And if everyone knows, why keep pretending?
You stare into the shadows of the darkened bathroom. Sympathize. You said you treat yourself like a clock. It's kind of how I look at myself too.
Yeah?
That's what Itzan teaches you, I think. You aren't your flesh, you aren't your bones, you're a mind and a bunch of meat. There's all this machinery inside of you, inside your head. No one feels it but you. You look over at Rue. Doesn't matter what people think about you. People always get it wrong. But if you're patient, you get better at disguising things, and that makes it easier.
When you say that people always get it wrong, what do you mean?
Just, people see what they want to see. When someone looks at you, they're not really seeing you. They're seeing their version of you. People create these images of you in their heads, and they usually have more to do with them than with you. Rue hesitates for a second.
Seems like you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, I guess I am.
It's weird to hear you give me advice. I feel like I should be the one giving you advice.
You give me a lot of advice.
About academics, not about personal things.
I don't usually talk about personal things. I don't like making myself vulnerable. I just never got into the habit of doing it.
I see. Maybe we can both work on something then. There's just one thing that bothers me. Called doses of sumi pinches. I've only ever heard one person call them that. It was the person I bought it from. Said it was a slang the gangs used.
You feel a chill run through you. Did I say that? Well, before I started studying in earnest, I dabbled a little in that stuff. To make a little extra money.
Really? That sounds exciting. Oh.
Rue adjusts her body and puts a hand over her eyes.
Headache.
Half an hour passes with you sitting by a tub, waiting for Rue's fever to recede. Finally, you help her out of the tub and look away while she dries off. You help her walk back to her bed and clear the mattress of its pile of books and papers, and help her in. The pile of papers catches your eye as you set it down on the floor. This looks familiar. Is this part of your research? Rue sighs and waves a tired hand at the paper.
It's the, basic outline for the new rapid tissue growth formula. It's what I use to grow the eye. If I can figure out how to expand it to other body parts, I'll be able to grow pretty much anything really quickly. Instead of taking a month to regenerate a lung, it might only take a few hours.
How close are you to figuring all that out?
A year or two, I think. But in the meantime, I need to demonstrate that it works on a small scale. That's what the organs in the tub are for. I just don't think I can finish it now. I'm doing the work of 2 people, pretty much.
You nod, glancing over some more of the papers. Some of the material looks familiar, but only barely. Is there any way I could help you? I don't know if I'll understand all of it, but maybe I could help with the wet work. Rui seems to think, then brightens up considerably.
That would be very helpful, actually.
Alright. Come back tomorrow and see what I can do. I'll bring my tools. Like I said, I doubt I'll understand everything. But I'll try my best.
Thanks. That's very thoughtful of you.
Sure. Are you gonna be okay for now? Is there anything you need?
No. I'll be okay.
You nod to her and head to the door to gather up your notes and things.
Oh, one last thing.
You turn around at the threshold of the doorway.
Please don't tell anyone about this.
Yeah, of course. The day after the episode with Sumi, he heads to Rue's office after class to see if she's alright. Seeing her like that brought back a lot of bad memories that you just can't seem to shake. Back in Senkaku, you'd seen too many people die from overdoses, and it frightens you to think Rue might have ended up like them if you hadn't stopped her. Still, you've been dreading going to see her all day. But this is the last straw. She decides that she can't handle conducting her research anymore, or someone finds out she's got a stash of drugs. When she's reminded of what happened every time she sees me. What if I knock on the door and she doesn't answer because she's lying face down, dead on her floor, because I left her alone too early? You finally get to Rue's office and stand in front of the door. You stare at the wood for a long time, listening to your heart pound. Finally, you gently knock on the door.
Yes? Who's there?
You screw your eyes shut and breathe a sigh of relief. It's me, Uzo. I'm, by myself. The door rattles, then opens a crack to reveal Uru's eyes peering through.
Okay, come in.
You walk inside and Uru quickly closes and locks the door behind you. She's dressed in her instructor's uniform, which is still crumpled and unwashed. How are you? Has the fever gone down?
Yes, I think so. I still feel miserable. However, I didn't drink any cups, any coffee when I woke up, and I think the withdrawals are taking a while. I've drank at least 1.5 liters of water though. Maybe that will help the headache and exhaustion.
Uru walks over to a large knit sack sitting near one of the bookcases and collapses into it, tucking her legs in. She picks up a small, wet towel soaking in a little tub of ice and drapes it over her forehead, then leans her head back in sighs. You pull up a chair next to her and sit down with your elbows resting on your knees. You look down at Rue and butt the back of your hand against her cheek.
Oh, what are you...
Checking to see if the fever's gone. You move her knuckles up and down her cheek, trying to feel for any places where the heat is intense. Her skin seems relatively cool though. Have you thrown up at all since I left? Do you feel dizzy or feel like shooting pains in your bones?
No, none of that. I haven't thrown up since last night. I have a migraine though, and my body feels disgusting. Nauseous.
Yeah. That's to be expected when you go back to back with Tazuma and Sumi. I'm surprised you're able to talk, let alone move. Rue covers her eyes with her hands and curls herself up even tighter.
I can't believe I was so stupid. I really could have died if you hadn't... I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry I put you through that. I was so disgusting. I'm still disgusting. I'm like a child. This is so ridiculous. You don't have to stay here with me. You're not my nanny. You're not my student, so I can call him a faculty member too.
Rue's voice trails off and she moans to herself, either in frustration or despair. What's wrong? Headache?
No, I've been warned about doing this kind of thing before. The dean will get angry at me if he finds out that.
Don't worry about it. I can stay here. I know what to do if the symptoms come back. I've seen it before.
Thank you, but I mean, I understand if you don't want me to be your tutor anymore.
No, it's okay.
It's not okay. My students shouldn't have to drag my body to the tub or sit out with me all night or check up on me. You shouldn't see me like this.
Rue, I don't give a shit about any of that. I know you probably don't believe me, but that's true. We all screw up, even instructors. You're not seeing you like that doesn't change how I feel about being your pupil. Rue lifts part of the towel off her face and looks up at you with one tear-filled eye.
And I have to keep being my student, not if you just feel sorry for me.
It's not pity, I swear. You're the only teacher here that can actually teach me the way I understand. Without you, I'm screwed. Besides, I like having you as my tutor.
I'm a terrible teacher. You had to make me feel better.
You look down at her with a determined expression. You're the only reason I can stay here at the academy. I have learned more from spending time with you than all my classes. And you believe in me. That means a lot, actually, and I want to help. All you do is help me, and Stop before you say, I care about you. It seems so natural to say it, but you're suddenly reminded that you're speaking to your mentor. It feels like you're crossing a line. You know you crossed the line when you lifted her off her mattress and put her in the tub, but you could always write that off as a saving life. Even so, you can't forget the feeling of holding her. She was so delicate, so frail, and it made you want to keep her safe. You didn't expect to feel so strongly. Everything between you and Rue was supposed to be straightforward. That's what you wanted. That's all hopelessly tangled up, and you're not sure what's the right thing to say. Most of all, you don't know how Rue feels about you. You realize you haven't finished her sentence and it's been a couple of seconds. Rue's still looking at you intently, waiting. I can't see someone like you just destroy themselves. I've seen it too often. Back in Senkaku.
You have?
Yeah, I lost a few, I guess you could call them friends, acquaintances. They got locked into that cycle of taking stuff to get high and come down. It's a nasty thing to watch. I don't want that to happen to you.
I see. Sorry.
A thought occurs to you while you look down at Ruth's petite frame. She can't weigh more than 120 pounds. From a glance at the dosages, she's taking enough to render any normal person at that weight comatose. Wait a second, Ruth, how long have you been doing this? Basumi.
Huh? Oh, I haven't done it in a long time. Why?
The doses you are working with would have floored someone about twice your size. The only way that could happen is if...
Yes, I may have built up a resistance. Over a couple years, I did use quite a bit when I was an initiate.
Ruth seems embarrassed to admit it, but it makes perfect sense. However, if she's been using Tezima too, then that brings up another worrying thought. Where'd you get your Tezima from?
I don't think I should tell.
I'm not going to buy any. I just want to know about the package it comes in. Is it green paper with a crescent moon?
Yes, actually. How did you...
Gotta stop taking that stuff. The people who package that stuff cut it with distillations of foxglove. That'll slow your breathing in your sleep. If you're too thin, it can stop your breathing and you'll die in your sleep.
How do you know all that?
That stuff is everywhere in Senkaku. You just learn this stuff.
I remember you saying that night that you dabble in Tezima to make a little extra money. I've been wondering what you meant about that.
Ruth gives you a suspicious look and trails off, as if she's waiting for you to explain. You sigh. So she remembers that. Yeah, back in Senkaku, I had a couple of jobs when I was a teenager.
Jobs? So you weren't always a scholar? Or an apprentice?
You chuckled to yourself bitterly. Your mind turns back to your early teens, when you promised yourself that you'd never spend the rest of your life reading books. No, I barely learned to read by 13 years old. I learned so I could be a bookkeeper at a warehouse. That was my first legitimate job.
Wait, what were your other jobs?
I was a courier for a long time. Letters, then money, then drugs. A lot of drugs. Deliveries. I got out before they made me join a gang. I did that for 2 years, then I got a bookkeeping job. It led to my scribe work and then led to my apprenticeship, which led me here.
But how can that be? Most students are groomed to Itsun since birth, and your student record was...
fake. Almost all of it was made up. My master helped me forge it. Well, he hired some people I knew to do it.
Uzo, that's very, very serious. If anyone finds out, you'll be blacklisted from any place of higher learning.
Well, you're not gonna tell anyone, are you? You give her a mockingly serious look. She looks back at you, incredulous.
But if you really... The amount of studying to even pass an entry-level course here is... You'd be woefully unprepared.
You shrug and furrow your brows, gazing off into the distance. Quick learner, you've seen that. Started late, but I can catch up. With your help, I can do it.
If you say so.
Guess I'm not the person you thought I was either, huh? Ruth seems to think to herself for a few seconds, like she's running everything you said through her head.
No, you're exactly the person I thought you were. You're intelligent, kind, and patient. Doesn't matter what you used to be.
You smile at her, feeling warmth spread across your face. Thanks, Ruth. Well, I guess, we both have some dirt on each other then?
Yes.
You can trust me not to say anything. I can trust you, right?
Of course.
You chuckle. Despite everything you've been through, you feel a voice in your head telling you don't believe her. Maybe it'd be best, I don't know, made a pact or something. They're not going to ruin each other.
What kind of pact?
I don't know. Sitting across my heart and hope to die is kind of childish.
Oh, I have an idea.
Rue gets up shakily from her sack and takes off her jacket. She lays it on her desk, picks up a small pair of silver scissors, and cuts the top button off of it.
This is an old tradition my grandmother taught me. Here, stand still for a moment.
Rue gently takes her top button between her index and thumb and snips off from her jacket, then gives you her button instead. Rue's button is the same color as yours, but the design is different. Instead of a small lamp emblazoned on it, it's a stylized skull.
When we button up the top button of our jacket this morning, we'll remember our promise. See?
You know how to slip the button into your pocket so that you can sew it on later. Alright, it's a promise. You stand there, smiling at Rue for a while. She smiles back, but neither of you say anything anymore. So, do you want me to leave you alone to recover for a while, or...?
I think I'm feeling a bit better. Do you have anything you want me to cover before the exams?
Yeah, actually, but I don't want to push you too hard.
No, it'll be alright. Sit down, I need to square a few things away in the other room, and then I'll be ready.
You watch Rue pick up her damp cloth and tie it around her forehead, then walk briskly into her private quarters. You smile to yourself, though it's tinged with worry. She doesn't slow down, does she? You woke up the next day with a new feeling of dread. You knew you had to go see Izagi. Ever since the horrific end to her sparring match, you haven't been able to get her anguished, rage-filled face out of her head. You didn't know what to say to her then, and you don't know what to say to her now. Still, anything is better than staying silent. That afternoon, you put on your uniform and heavy black coat, then trudged through the snow toward Izagi's dormitory. On the way there, you think about all the angles you could take to talk to her. Calm but concerned, silent and reserved, upbeat and energetic. It's not all there yet. You feel like that you have a good understanding of Izagi, even though she rarely speaks about herself. It's funny. The people who are the most stoic and hard to reach are usually the ones who are dying to open up to someone. It's just a matter of applying the right pressure at the right times and knowing when to back off. It's like a sparring match. You arrive at the third floor and count 4, 5, 6, 7 doors. You stop in front of the threshold and reach for a doorknob. Suddenly the door opens and a female surgeon in a white uniform almost walks right into you. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. No worries, I'm here to see Izagi. You notice that the woman is carrying a wooden tray with several plates and bowls stained with food. Your eyes fall on chopsticks, spoon, and knife. Izagi's arms can heal that quickly, so that means this lady was... Of course, she just had dinner, so she should be ready for visitors. Go right in. The surgeon steps past you and begins walking down the hallway, leaving the door open behind her. You peer inside, and while you don't see Izagi, you can hear her. And as much as I enjoy seeing Izagi, I run out of time. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment what you think so far. Maybe tell me which girl you're starting to think about, or changing any ideas of who you like. And if you want to try out this visual novel, please check the links down below. And if you want to watch more visual novels, please check my channel down below. Anyways, thank you and take care.